And welcome back. This is your man Warrior. This is another patron roster review. This is Apropos from Forcified, and he is a Dolphin, been around since the beginning, but definitely needs some help with arena mods. Kind of wants to look at the arena mods, and then some Sith raid teams, some basics, and some fleet teams and territory battles suggestions. Now, the thing with Sith teams and territory battles is they're basically the same team. If you're using, Jedi training raid teams, resistance teams in phase 1 of the Sith raid, you can use the same team in phases 1 through 6 of territory battles. So I'm going to kind of pair those together, because if you're working on one team, it's going to work in all areas of the game, from a Sith raid to territory battles to territory wars. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about arena, and we're going to talk about modding. And the first thing I noticed is your Emperor Palpatine and Thrawn both look really, really good, but I want you to switch your mod sets. If you look, you've got plus 123 speed on Emperor Palpatine, but with Thrawn, you only have 110. So you've got extra speed that could be on Thrawn, and he really needs to be the first guy to go on your side of the field. Thrawn is really, really important to be fast, so make him your fastest character. In fact, you could dig through all of your mods and find the absolute fastest set you have, and I would argue to say that's probably the set that should go on Thrawn, and then you would have Emperor Palpatine next is fine. Now, I looked at your Darth Scion, and I would recommend, instead of critical damage, actually putting on protection on these areas. So instead of health and critical damage, and you could put offense there, I suppose. But as far as this one right here, critical damage, switch that bad boy to a protection, and switch this bad boy to a protection. In arena, protection actually is better than health for most characters, because it's a little bit more of a durability shell to kind of delay the inevitable until something goes off. And for him, it's his held by hatred that goes off. So the protection's going to help get him there better. You can keep, though, a speed arrow and things like that. That's fine. Now, Darth Nihilus looks fine. You look good with him, but I am going to suggest that you actually take Sith Trooper out of the equation until you have, I know you said you're not to Darth Traya yet, but when you have her, Sith Trooper is going to come back out and be amazing. But in the meantime, for where you're at in arena and for what you're trying to do, you're trying to climb, and you need more offensive capability where you're at to get into that top 100. And so you're actually going to need to take Sith Trooper out and put in Darth Vader. That's right, Darth Vader. He works really, really well under Emperor Palpatine. He's going to speed the whole team up. He speeds himself up. He does massive damage, and his Culling Blade, with all the debuffs that are going on, is going to do a lot of damage and can one-shot fools. So think of him as kind of a Darth Nihilus, a fast Darth Nihilus. So you can make him pretty fast, and he's going to work really, really well. So I would definitely focus on your Darth Vader and replace your Sith Trooper. Now, as far as the fleet rank, really, I'm looking at your fleet, and you've got Tarkin, you've got XB, you've got Ghost, you've got, the Houndstooth, you've got my team, really, the team that I highly suggest. But the problem is when you're on the highest end of fleet, when you're in like the top 100 and stuff, these guys not only have to be gear 12, but they've got to be 7 stars. You've been playing since the beginning, so everyone you're going against has maxed out characters. So I wouldn't change this necessarily, because Houndstooth is amazing. You just, when he gets farmable, get that Houndstooth to 7 stars. But when I look at Ghost, I do notice your Ghost is super squishy, super easy to kill. And this is why probably people are going to hit this and kill it really quickly. You can almost one-shot that with a single shot from Poe Dameron, or the Imperial TIE Fighter could probably use a special and kill it. So you're going to have to gear these 3 characters up if you're going to keep using the Ghost in there. But I got a suggestion for you. I know that Ghost and Phantom go together like peanut butter and jelly, but I would highly recommend, actually, in the front 3, you put this guy in here, TIE Reaper. He's going to have an ability to regenerate some protection, which is cool. He's going to have some really good offensive synergies with the Empire and with Tarkin, and he's more durable. If you look at your stats, This guy is not going to get one shot by anybody before you take a turn. He's going to survive whatever onslaught they do, whereas Ghost is probably dying for you. And so the team I would slightly switch is I would have TIE Reaper in for Ghost, and then you just need to get the stars on the other two when possible. Now, obviously, the Phantom 2 is be the first reinforcement I would suggest, even without Ghost in there, but you got to get these guys leveled up. You got to gear them up to at least gear 11. TIE Advanced is maxed out in every way except reinforcement, and I recommend him as the number 2 reinforcement, and he has one of the best reinforcement abilities in the game, and if you read it, you might go, meh, it doesn't seem that good. It is, I promise. This is the very next reinforcement you should max out. Now, Cassian's looking pretty good. You got his reinforcement done. Most of the abilities are pretty leveled up or maxed, except again, just like Ghost, just like the other Rebel ships you have, like Phantom 2, your characters are holding you back. You got to get them to gear 11 so you can get their crew powers maxed out and really see the true potential of these ships. As a side note, I would recommend Sunfac as a backup tank. He's going to be viable everywhere in the game as far as ships are concerned, but you definitely want to max out his reinforcement, get him to gear 11, which is a pain, and then get his abilities maxed out. Eventually, you'll want to work on all the Geos and get them maxed out. They're just a great, viable alternative team for territory battles and wars, but this is an awesome reinforcement also for Arena as well. And then for the 4th reinforcement for now that I would recommend is actually Poe Dameron's X-Wing. You've got him leveled up, his crew powers leveled up, his reinforcements leveled up. Just finish off his other abilities. This is a really great ship to bring in from the back and just finish a battle as soon as you possibly can with him. Now, as far as Sith teams and territory battle teams, we're going to talk about a couple of teams, and in those teams we talk about, I'm going to give you a couple of suggestions of characters you really need to focus on. The first team you want to work on is Resistance. That's right. Jedi Training Rey, R2-D2, BB-8, Resistance Trooper, all done. Now, you want to do, for a 5th, Visa Smar. And the thing you'll want for her in that slot with Resistance is you'll want all of her abilities leveled up. I would highly recommend her Zeta, and you've got to get her to 7 stars. So you got to finish her off, but this is a special side project for that Phase 1 Resistance team. You're going to see significantly higher damage, more consistent damage, and an easier time in Phase 1 if you focus on Visas. She was built literally for Phase 1 of the Resistance team, and so she's the character, the one character for Phase 1 that I would recommend, and you're also going to get to use her in territory battles as well, so she's going to help on the light side as well as helping with the Resistance in the raid. Now, Phase 2, I really recommend using a Bastila lead, but you don't have Bastila quite maxed out. You got her at 6 stars, but you'll have her there soon enough with her and Grandmaster Yoda, General Kenobi. You can use Ezra Bridger and Hermit Yoda. That is a really, really great Jedi team, but you also have some alternate teams you can use. You could use General Kenobi, which you already have as a lead, Hermit Yoda, and then you could have Sabine, Thrawn, and Wampa in this team as well. That's a really cool Phase 2 team as well. So you could run Jedi and you could run this General Kenobi team together, because General Kenobi, Hermit Yoda are the only 2 Jedi that you'd have to pull out of a Jedi team. And then you could have Bastila, Grandmaster Yoda, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ezra Bridger, and Ayla Secura. You could have them as a Jedi team for Phase 2. And then for Phase 2, you could also have, like I said, the General Kenobi, Hermit Yoda team with Thrawn, Wampa, and Sabine. Now, you have Sabine 7 stars, you have Thrawn 7 stars, but you don't have your Wampa where you need him. So here's your Wampa, looking pretty good, but he is at 6 star. So for the first team, I recommended Visas as your primary focus. For this team, I'm going to recommend Wampa as your primary focus. Now for Phase 3, Imperial Troopers and Chex Mix are going to be my recommendations. You have everybody you need for Chex Mix, and if you pull Death Trooper out for Chex Mix, you're going to have the remaining characters that you can use, which is General Veers, Stark, Snow Trooper, Shore Trooper, and then I recommend Range Trooper for the additional damage. Now, this is the one character in this phase of Phase 3 of Imperial Troopers that you need to focus on. If you notice a common theme, there's there's really only one character you need to max out in each phase to really up your game in each round. And in phase 2, with multiple teams that you're potentially running with Jedi, you should be able to do pretty good. Again, all you needed for phase 2 Jedi was Bastila to 7 stars. Now in phase 4, I would still recommend Night Sisters, and then after that, you can throw the kitchen sink. You can throw everything you have at what you've got. I would run Asajj Ventress lead, Mother Talzin, Night Sister Zombie, Talia, and Old Daka, which is literally your top 5, and they already look good, and these guys are going to do a ton of damage. You're going to get a lot of damage with this team, and Skeltrix, who's a YouTuber, does a really amazing video on Asajj Ventress lead where he shows like 10 million in phase 4 using Asajj Ventress lead, even after the rework of Zombie. So because of that, I do recommend that you go check out that video and use your Night Sisters and continue to develop this team. But Resistance, make sure you get your Visas Mar. For Jedi, make sure you get your Bastila Shan up. For the General Kenobi Hermit Yoda combo with Thrawn, Wampa, and Sabine, you need to get Wampa up. And then for the Imperial Troopers, you need to get your Range Trooper up. And for Night Sisters, you just need to overall generally get all of them up for more damage. All right, Apropos from Forcified. You've been around since the beginning. You're doing decent. You've got really good motion forward towards all your goals. I've given you a few things to focus on. If anybody has any ideas for Apropos, leave them in the comments down below and keep your gaming on. Warrior out.